So we can have a quick little look at some of the movements out of pattern Yul Gok. Again, there's lots of techniques in this pattern, but particularly we're looking at the arc hand, or we're looking at the double forearm block. As we go higher in these patterns, by the way, if there are any specific movements you want explaining or want elaborating, do let us know. I'm just thinking again, comments in the thread, and I'll be happy to discuss, because I mean it's a toss-up between X stances and different things. We can explain loads. So 2 for this one. We're just going to go for the arc hand as well as the double forearm. So in the way of the arc hand hooking block, there's a couple of different things going on in here. You have 2 different arcs. You have one arc in here, and then you have another arc here. Again, if you've not trained this, probably a visual representation would be easier, as in an application. So if a punch comes in, I can block or engage at an early stage. It's like an outer forearm block with knife hand, but there's a turn on it just so I can capture. You can see the movement as it captures. And of course, thumb out will create the second arc, which is there. As the combination goes, you have natural motion, and then you'll have a connected motion. The concept there is you're obviously blocking, grabbing, potentially, pulling. There's loads of things, but you'll block on the first, block, grab on the second, then pull on the strike for the third. So Thomas, you can work that for me, mate. So do your punch. I could be blocking on the first, second one, block, grab, pull onto a strike. I actually use the arc hand in lots of different ways. So if you're looking at alternatives, yes, as per Yul Gok, the pattern right there, if Thomas is to grab a wrist, you'll sneakily see things like arc hands there. See that? As I've gone as a position, mad, isn't it? Arc hand. And it's not quite the same, but if I'm looking at 3rd degree pattern Samuel and other things, clips and locks, there's ways to turn and control and use the arc hand just a slightly different level. All right, again, if you didn't see that one, Thomas to grab my wrist, I do the same kind of movement as I create an arc hand. That's in my wrist section. And the arc hand, if I'm grabbing, truth is, if I'm not fixing or holding there, it's just gonna let go. So what I do is I hold him at the start. I create the flexion in the wrist. That's creating stress and tension. That creates the fixed point. That's gonna hurt, so don't pull it on tight. If I do continue the arc, you see his body shape change. And of course, you've got fun points or pressure points that sit in the forearms that are exposed as the little fingers tend to move the tendons and ligaments through the forearms. Lots of info there. Play with that one, but be careful as always. We are looking at the double forearm. See, there's a couple of different ways that I do this one as well. Previous videos will show that I do like an overhook and a grab off a spear or a knife and guard position. If I show that one briefly, because it's already been done. Thompson here, check out a punch for me, mate. Go on the opposite side to start that one. So if I'm here, I can hold and grab there. It doesn't follow the natural lines that you would do a standard double. What do I mean? Well, doubles come around like a middle block, right? It tends to come more circular as a double in a forearm, but it has this little finger touching the elbow underneath that creates a secondary movement later on, hence the double concept. So you've got the middle block and you've got the low block release. If you're looking at punch for me, mate, punch or kick with the other hand, boom, boom, I'm in, you have that. Go back to this side. Other ones I use for it, as well as the overhook to double, is potentially things like double grab positions, inside outs. Final one, mindful there's lots in this just based off the 2 techniques. Thomas is to grab, do 2 hands, mate, go and do 2 hands. So I could be in a position where I'm holding there. And that, for me, tends to follow quite a good, crash test on me again in this video, mate, thank you, the double forearm kind of concept. Why do I do that one quite as frequently? Because you tend to see doubles come to a different line and angle where it's more of a control and a press, pushing type of movement than this out and out circular kind of technique. So again, thinking outside the box of those movements, perform it in your pattern, Yul Gok, as intended, structured, position, as per guidance from your club instructors. But when you're looking at understanding that the movements do, have a play with the partner, explore it to a little bit of a different level, stance, positioning, and obviously enjoy your training. If you do have any questions, give me a shout, drop the comments in the thread below. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.